I'm Sergeant Brian with the Spring ISD Police Department. We want to discuss car seat safety. We teach people the importance of installing proper use of car seats. Going to different scenes, you see a lot of accidents that have taken place. It's tragic. All they had to do was have the right, proper car seat installation.
I'm Detective Jared Morton with the Spring ISD Police Department. About 3 years ago, we started a program where we were able to partner with Texas Children's Hospital and Safe Kid Houston to conduct car seat checks within our school district. This program is something that we've done for the last 3 years, where we've visited our campus after approval with the campus principals to go and make sure that the car seats of our scholars are installed correctly. So here today, due to COVID, we were allowed the opportunity to still do the car seat safety inspections this year, but we're going to do them virtually. According to Texas law, a person commits an offense if the person operates a passenger vehicle, transports a child who is younger than 8 years of age, unless the child is taller than 4 feet 9 inches, and does not keep the child secured during the operation of the vehicle in a child passenger safety seat system, according to the instructions of the manufacturer of the safety seat system. An offense under this section is a misdemeanor, punishable by a fine not less than $25 and not more than $250. So basically what that is saying is, if the child is 8 years or younger and has not reached 4 feet 9 inches, the child needs to be in some sort of safety seat system. But it's just very important that we have our children and our scholars, not only the Spring students, but the students nationwide, everywhere, make sure that we're following these rules and having them inside of a car seat safely.
So this is one of your basic infant carrier car seats, and it comes in 2 parts. It comes with the base of the car seat, which will be installed in the proper position in the back of in the rear of the vehicle, as well as the actual seat that will that you also use as a carrier as well. One of the important things that you first do is you get your seat. So we always recommend getting a new seat, one that you either got as a gift from the baby shower, or one that you're able to obtain the history of the seat on, because it's very important that you know, have the car seat ever been wrecked, has the car seat ever been involved in any car accidents that was involved in the wreck. And that's important because the frame of the seat could actually crack and we have no idea that it's cracked. And once that's cracked, then it's not really operable anymore, or the way it's tested is not safe to use. So it's very important that you know the history of your safety seat, of your car seats. Is you also check and see what the inside label of the car seat has, the different rules that you have to go by. So it lets you know here, do not place this rear-facing car seat on front seat with airbag. Death or serious injury can occur. The back seat is the safest place for children under 12 years old. It's very important that you go by the rules that's already been put by the manufacturer inside any of these safety seats, because that's how the seats have been tested, that's how they've been crash tested. Don't go and add any of your own features to it or say, oh, hey, I can get away with this. No, let's not do that. It's very important that we go by what's been manufactured for the seat. It also lets you know to, again, how the proper way to install the seats are on here as well. And this is very important, where it lets you know, use only in rear facing position. That means only the baby can only face the rear of the vehicle, which means they only can look out the back seat of the car. Also, use only with children who weigh between 4 and 30 pounds and whose height is 30 inches or less. All right, never use the newborn insert provided for that deal. So make sure that you follow what the manufacturer is saying, because that's how these seats are crash tested. So if you have a baby who's outgrown this car seat, immediately go out, get the proper seat that works for them, and that's going to be that works better for your child. So on this part, which is the base of the seat, again, they have different ways to install these seats. One of the things that we use here, we have the lower latching system, which goes into the latches and goes into the hooks inside the vehicle. And it's something that's in most vehicles, but it's also very important that you not only look at the manufacturer's the instruction that comes with the car seat, but you also take a look at what your vehicle handbook says for that car. So not only do you follow what the manufacturer of the car seat says, but you also make sure that you look at the manual of your own personal car to make sure that, hey, the car seat is being installed correctly. This is what I can use. This is the latching system that's made for my car. So it's very important that you double check that before you install the car seats. All right, so before we install the seats, it's very important that we locate the hooks devices that are here. So if you look on the seats, you'll see these different type of emblems that let you know that they have anchors
for the lower latching system to be utilized. So once you locate those, you find your two points of you find your two lower anchors, and this is what we'll be installing the car seat with today. Now this car seat has the capability to give the car seat the correct angle that it needs to be in. Don't worry if your car seat does not have that feature. There's a way we can fix that. If you can take a towel and just roll it the correct way, there's different YouTube videos on how to do that once you go to installing car seats. Or you can take the common pool noodle, or like the floating device that we call a pool noodle, and you just cut it in threes, and you'll make a quick, like a triangle with the noodles bounded together, and you'll put that here at this part of your car seat, and it will give you the right angle that the car seat needs to be elevated at. But this car seat has a feature to where it does it for you. Also, this car seat also has the base also has the device that lets you. It has a leveling device in there that lets you know that, hey, this car seat is here, it's level, and and we'll just get it to the right way to where the bubble is in the middle, or that lets you know that the car seat is level. All right. So once we get it how we want it, you'll take your anchors here, and you'll simply hook it there. You'll take the other anchor, and you'll hook it here into the other lower anchor, the other latch hook to the lower anchor. However, this is even though we've done that, this is still not correct. We do not want this at all. Okay, you will apply pressure to the middle here, and then you just pull. All right. If it's not tight, then the child inside the seat, once you turn the corner, the child is going to go over with the seat or anything like that. That's something we don't want. So to check to make sure that it's in tight enough, you go by the path of the seatbelt or the latching system that is here, and you just make sure you give it a quick tug. All right, and you can't move it. As long as you can't move it within a half an inch or so, then the seat's installed properly. And voila, there you sit there. Your the seat is installed. The baby's going to be in here. There's no issues at all. Now, if you get a look, if we can look here, the straps are important. All right. Anytime you're dealing with a rear-facing or infant seat, you want to make sure that the straps are at the shoulders or lower when dealing with an infant seat. So you want to make sure that the straps are right at the shoulders or below the shoulders when you're dealing with an infant inside a car seat that's rear-facing. So one thing that I'm looking here, everything looks good, but we are going to adjust the straps here, and that's going to be simply just pulling this strap here. Now it's important that you do that because right now he's still pretty loose inside the seat. Okay, so what we're going to do is just tighten this up a little bit, not too tight on him. And what you want to do is, if you take your webbing and you pinch it, you don't want to be able to pinch it at all. Okay, if you're able to pinch the webbing on the seatbelt at all, that means it's too loose, and you simply with this style seat, you just pull this strap here, which will tighten it up for him. And then Prince is in there snug. So this is another style of car seat that's available on the market. The good thing about this car seat is actually a 2-in-1. So what am I saying, Detective Morton? Well, I'll tell you. This car seat can be used as a rear-facing car seat or a forward-facing car seat model. The rear-facing car seat is for when you have your infant carrier and they've outgrown the actual infant carrier. However, the child is still going to be rear-facing. So this seat is called a convertible style seat. Okay. Again, it's just the simple mechanics of switching this over. All right. Once it's in the front that way, it's considered a rear-facing car seat. So once we install this, like we talked about earlier, this is one of the car seats that we'll use the pool noodles to make sure you have the correct angle to where the seats are. Make sure the seat is installed safely. Okay. Also, once your infant is inside, the straps are at his shoulders or her shoulders or below. Okay, make sure the straps are at her shoulders or his shoulders or below. You want to make sure that the kids, it's almost like a baseball glove. You fit and they have that close, tight fit with each other. Once they've outgrown the requirements for the rear-facing functions of the seat, again, it's the same feature. Just go to the back of your car seat, move your straps and raise them higher. But at this time, remember, if they're forward-facing, you would like the straps to be at the child's shoulder or maybe just a little higher. Okay, again, it's going to get that same fit. We don't want them below the shoulder at that point because then it's going to be a too tight of a fitting for the child. With this seat as well, again, you have the option to use the seat belt that's inside the car, or you can use the lower anchor system that's inside of the vehicle. It's totally up to your choice. However, you cannot use both. I know it's gonna say, you know, oh, Detective Morton, if you use more, that's safer. You can't do it the way. Why? Because it's not crash tested that way. We wanna make sure that we're doing exactly what it is the manufacturer said can be done with the seat. So if we use the lower anchor system, you come here to your car, to the seat, the side of the seat, and you simply, this is gonna be for one of your anchors. This is one of your lower anchors. This side here is also for one of your lower anchors. And this is gonna be for your top tether. Again, I'll show you guys all those deals once we get inside the vehicle here. We will use the two lower anchors if we're rear facing. The only time we will use the top tether is when we're forward facing. And that's, again, I'll show you guys that feature once we get inside the actual vehicle. All right, so now we're gonna install the seat using the lower anchoring system. So again, we wanna look for the images on our cars to see where do we have those anchors where we can use the lower anchor system for the car. So I'm gonna put the seat on the passenger side. I've located where the symbols are indicating that the anchor hooks are there. If you put your hand in there, you should be able to feel for them. Once you located the system, you'll put the hooks inside here, find your hook, make sure it's in there good. Again, it's gonna go teeth down, so it's gonna go this way down to hook onto the to actually latch onto the hook pretty good inside of your seat. You put it in there. You locate the other one, and again, you place it in there also. You grab the access web, put pressure on the middle, put weight down in the middle, and then you pull that out. And it's always easy to pull toward you. Then you give it just a slight tug to make sure it's good and tight. And there we go. It's in there pretty good. Now, again, this is a convertible seat, so it can be installed rear facing or forward facing as well. Just make sure that you go by the guidelines and the rules that's printed on the side of the car seat that lets you know the proper weight and height that the child must be at before we face it forward facing, okay? But once they've reached that deal, once they reach what the suggested the weight and height is, you simply get your seat, you flip the feature here to the back, and there we have it. It is now ready to be installed forward facing. Again, you can use the system, which is the seatbelt system, which is inside the car, or you can use the latch system again for that. With this, by being forward facing, you would have to not only install the lower anchor seats, but you would also use your top tether, and it hooks into the back of the car where you have the emblem here that lets you know that there's an anchor there for the top tether. So again, this seat can also be installed with using just your common seat belt. Again, this is the path for the seat belt here. So you will feed the seat belt through the pathway here and run it through the other side, which will hook into the other deal on this side. One thing you want to do first is to make sure that your seatbelt has the correct, or the locking system on your seatbelt is operating correctly. Again, how you do that, you pull it all the way out, listen for that click, and so that lets you know the seat is in the correct locking deal. So now you want to unlock that system, you let it all the way back in, and then you pull and release. So now we're going to install it with the seatbelt. Again, you're going to use that path. You're going to hold the seatbelt with one hand and put your hand in the center of the actual car seat to make sure you have the pressure to push down on the seat, and you're going to feed that seatbelt back through. And what it's doing is it's locking that seatbelt, that seat into place as you go. Again, you want to take the path, you want to run your hand by the path of the seatbelt, and you want to give it just a slight tug. You see, you can't move that seat. See, you can't move that seat. And that's how you want your seats to make sure that we're not moving. It's tight. It's in the seat pretty tight. This style seat is called a high back booster. All right. So once your child has outgrown the rear facing seat and you move them to the forward facing seat, once they've outgrown the forward facing seat, then at this point it's time we go and get them in what we call the booster seat or high back booster. All right. So again, like any of our car seats, Once you get to a brand new car seat, you want to make sure that you fill out this information here correctly in its entirety. Okay, and once you fill this out correctly, you want to mail it back into the manufacturer. Again, the reason you do that is if there's ever a recall on this seat or anything go wrong with any other seat that's with the same model, they will notify you to take the seat to the proper location and either get the issue fixed or just get a brand new car seat. That's why it's very important that you complete this the paperwork here that comes with the seat. Such as any other car seat, you make sure that we have the labeling is all there. It lets you know here, used only with children who weigh between 13 and 49 kilograms, which is 30 to 110 pounds, and whose height is 102 to 145 centimeters, which is 40 to 57 inches, and whose ears are below the top of the child's restraint harness, okay? And that's with the back, okay? That's what this deal. Once they've outgrown that, and there you have it. It's a booster seat without the back install. All right, and you'll both install it the exact same way. We're just using the seatbelt on this feature here, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So once you have your seatbelt here, you want to make sure it's always a lot easier if you go ahead and just run it around the seatbelt path of the way that the seat's going to go. All right, just go ahead and hook it inside of there. Once your child's inside the seat, it's simply and there you have it. You want to make sure that the lower that the lap belt is across the top of the strong hip bone on your child, and this is going in the proper direction over the shoulder, and it's locked in. Again, if they're on the driver's side seat, you just run that seat belt through this pathway here that's designed for, and it'll be the exact same deal. Okay. If your child exceeds the weight and height for the backrest, again, all we simply have to do is take that off. And now you have just your common booster seat. And again, it will go around your child like normal. And they're in. So again, thank you. I hope you've learned something new that you've learned here today with me showing you guys how to install the different kind of car seats that we have. I would like to take this time to thank our partners who provided the seats for us to use today. That's Texas Children's Hospital, along with Safe Kids Houston. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to do this, and to as well as once we get out of COVID, I'm looking forward to partnering with you guys again to go out and get some actual car seat events scheduled and completed. If there's anyone out there who ever needs help with installing a car seat, feel free to notify me. Again, I'm Detective Jared Morton here with the Spring ISD Police Department. If you can give me a call here at the PD, and I'll help you make sure the car seat is installed. Or you can also look on the Texas Children's Hospital site and see if there's a site closer to you and your family that will be able to service you. Also check with your local fire departments as well. They too have the car seat technicians, and they're also there to better assist you as well. Again, thank you for taking the time out to watch the video, and let's stay safe, make sure our kids are locked into the car seats well.